do this on literally any ticker. You can do it on AMC, Troika, or
Okay, here the
TRKB,
good
and you
recall.
can see other
At
gamma
that
ramp
time, I did
charts
not know
just like
about
this.
nothing
If a stock
about
ticker doesn't trade
RAM or
options,
RAM,
you won't get
SQUEE
anything
at
on
all.
this, just
But
to let
right
you
now,
know.
I figured
But
out.
in
I
the
look
case
at
of
the
AMC, you can see
TA
AMC also
only
has a gamma ramp chart
and see
where
the breakout.
approximately 25% of the float would be
SPRT
in the money if it just
at
rose to $10,
from 4
which is a massive
to
amount.
$10 in break 10, go to
To illustrate the
16.
effect of
At that
this,
day, I remember all
I
my family,
want to make
we were
mention
buying on
that
that
it's
one,
very
holding.
rare for
I
any
watching this
stock
one for a
to have a
year.
gamma ramp as large as
SPRT
Bed Bath &
rake
Beyond does.
from
There's only one other time
$10 to
in the
16,
history
and
that I've
then
been doing
the
this
next
that
day
I've
go
seen
to
a gamma ramp chart
$50.
this
And
large.
some of my friends
And that
sell
was
at
actually SPRT back
39
in
or
August
something.
of
All
2021.
right, watch this one.
That was a
Very
stock
good
for
video.
support.com, which was it was a .com era company that got started back in the late 90s, and they got smashed in the .com bubble. And they were trading in 2021 at around $5. By the time, for some reason, there was a
At that
bunch of
time,
interest in it,
only
and there was a
$2.
suspected merger
It
that was
from
going
9
on,
go
a big
all the way down to
acquisition
2
between them and
and
another
hold
company
for about 3 months. I almost
that
get
was causing
out
some
right there.
interest in the stock,
And then
and
one
it
day,
created
I
a big
told all my
gamma
friends,
ramp
it break
on this.
$9, get
At the
in.
time, the stock had
Exactly.
something like it was a really small float stock, but there was enough call contracts that more than 100% of the float was available for purchase or was on the call chain at, I think it was a $10 strike, and the stock had already been trading at $8. So when all of those call contracts went in the money and SPRT went above $10, a week later, it created such a massive supply and demand imbalance and a panic for market makers and anybody who was short call options that it caused the price to skyrocket from $10 to $58 in 1 week. It was the most insane gamma ramp I had ever seen. So this is a historical chart of SPRT back in 2021 when this trade was occurring. Before the merger and acquisition announcement, the stock was trading at less than $2. After that announcement came, it had a huge pop and hit $10 before coming crashing back down. But from that point forward, it was in a big incline and it was slowly making its way back up to $10. What this huge pop in volatility created was an opportunity for those call contracts to be created, and a whole bunch of market makers opened up calls. They basically wrote calls at that level and set them out for huge dates, like very distant dates. They were basically writing leap options, promising that they would be able to deliver 100 shares per contract as far forward as like January of 2022. Well, what ended up happening was there was so much hype that built up in it as that gamma ramp was created at $10, and it only continued increasing from there. So it was actually more than 100% of the float was on the call chain by the time it got to $10. But once it hit $10, it triggered this massive delta hedging event where market makers were forced to purchase shares and compete for price in order to make sure they were capable of delivering on their obligations. It caused the price to rise so fast that in just 1 week, it went all the way to, as I said, $59 at the high. You can see it right there
I
in the
love
corner
it.
on
This
August the
exactly.
27th.
You
The
look
high
at
of the day was
technical analyze TA, you will see it,
$59.69.
something going on.
So that was
The fundamental
the high
doesn't work.
watermark for
And a lot of
SPRT.
my family,
The
one of my
highest closing
family
price of
member
any day
tried
was
to against me, but
$36. So this
I
is the kind of
I call this one
insane
perfectly
volatility that can
in
happen
whole
with these
lifetime
kinds of
for
plays.
trading.
And
This is
this
a
is
good call,
why I love
SPRT. I
the
call out
Surge Bot short
perfectly.
squeeze chart.
I wait
It's
for a
got to be
year
one of my
of this
favorite
one.
charts to use on the regular.
So
I make this a part of my
please
standard
watch out
analysis
my
practice
channel.
anytime I'm
All
looking
right.
at any kind of
See you guys
stock,
later.
which is trading options of any kind. I always make sure to check it for a gamma ramp whenever I'm